Today, I'm sharing my top 10 layouts of 2021, plus some extras, next on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. I'm Victoria, and on this channel, I feature all things scrapbooking and crafting. If that's something you enjoy, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and when you do, click the bell. That way, you'll be notified each and every time I post new content to the channel. Today, I am sharing my top 10 scrapbook layouts of 2021, plus a couple extra. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. By the way, you can see photos of these layouts on the Victoria Marie blog. The link is posted in the description below. So I selected a few layouts that are just some of my absolute favorites in 2021. This first one's called Hello 40, and I created this layout in celebration of my 40th birthday. I turned 40 in 2021, and I wrote down all the things that I'm into right now at age 40. I also purchased a special t-shirt to celebrate the occasion. This layout is 8.5 by 11. It features some fussy cut flowers there at the top. I also used a metal leaf die to die cut those green leaves that you see there. I did that with some pattern paper, added a couple little butterfly embellishments, used some sticker fonts. One is from Thickers, the other one I think came with this particular paper collection to spell out Hello 40, and I just love how simple and clean that layout came out. The next one is called Coffee Time. Now, if you've been around Victoria Marie Designs for a while, then you know I love coffee, and I scrapbook a lot about coffee, and this one is me taking a selfie with my brand new muggie that I purchased this fall. In fact, my mother and I were in Hobby Lobby, and we saw these cute little mugs that look like little campers, and I said, I have to have that. This collection that I use for this layout is from the Hip Kit Club kit, and I believe that was one of the fall collections. It had beautiful modern fall colors, so it doesn't scream fall with bright oranges and whatnot. Very, very clean. Used a lot of the embellishments from the kit to create clusters, added some texture with some wood veneer that also has a little bit of gold foiling, and I thought that just really set off the layout. This next one is me experimenting with the color green. I absolutely love green now. It's like one of my favorite colors, green and navy blue. My favorite colors have changed over the years. This particular collection is from the Hip Kit Club. Usually with a bold pattern paper like this, I tend to shy away from it, believe it or not, and I love pattern paper. But the way to kind of dial it back is to add a little bit of a delineation between your pattern papers. So I centered my photos. I created that photo grid in Photoshop, mounted the photo with some green tone-on-tone check paper, then added some white cardstock behind that so that adds a nice separation. I also have a pocket card that's the same pattern as the background, but in a smaller print. And of course, I want to bring in some more colors using some florals and butterflies, and that came out very pretty. Here's another fall layout that I created. I think I made this during my last live of 2021. This is called The Story of Autumn. I'm in my Halloween costume, which my t-shirt says laziest costume ever. I created this kind of an L-shaped design with that strip of pattern paper kind of intersecting the photo on the left, but then I have that line of text where the title is. Kind of gave me a spot to put some photos and some embellishments. I am continuing to use a Hip Kit Club kit, the fall collection, took advantage of all the pretty leaves that came with the die cuts. There's also little hints of Halloween on there, so your Halloween pages don't have to scream Halloween, but they can definitely be subtle, like the one that I have here. I love the two fonts with the title. It really makes it pop, and it kind of centers the eye there around the photos and the embellishments. This next layout I made for Echo Park. This was a design or a contract project that I worked on for them. And this was, of course, a summer layout. This particular collection, I can't remember the name of it. It may have been called Summer Days, but it's so beautiful with that red and white plaid. Oh, gorgeous. Had fun little summer images. There's a metal die that came with the collection in the shape of swimsuits. So I took some of the 6x6 pattern paper that came with that collection, did a nice band of little swimsuits there. I just thought that was a perfect touch if you want to do a theme layout without kind of going overboard and take advantage of using a lot of pattern paper. This next layout is called Best Pals. I made this for Scrapbook.com. This was earlier in 2021. Tim Holtz came out with his prize ribbon Distress ink color, is added new to the line of Distress inks. And I was sent the full package, Distress inks, Distress oxides, and that type of thing. So I created a layout featuring Got distress ink in the back using a Tim Holtz stencil. Also splattered that, just a little bit of mixed media. I don't typically go wild. And then I used some Tim Holtz ephemera as well as some tissue paper, did a little bit of distressing on the edges. This is my version of mixed media. I like just subtle hints of it on my scrapbook pages. That makes me feel really comfortable in not only using the material, but also kind of keeping a clean design that I've come accustomed to creating. This next layout is called Tween Mode, and I used some different kits from Felicity Jane to create this layout. In fact, I made one big mega kit of all my Felicity Jane leftover pieces from various kits, pulled out majority of the pieces that featured green in some way, a little bit of black and white, as well as little pops of color. There are two pattern papers represented here for the background. One was a geometric type of a triangular design, so I cut that piece out, two of those pieces, and flanked the top and the bottom so that it brought attention to the middle photos. Then using some corresponding embellishments from a variety of Felicity Jane kits in my stash, I created 3 clusters to flank that photo so it draws the eye right into the center, to the focal point, of course, which is my little tween, serving up all kinds of tween attitude. This next one is called Teaching Adventure. I had the opportunity to teach at the Scrapbooking Cards Today Crop and Create event this past spring or summer, no, fall. I think it was this past fall. And of course I had to document the experience. So I reached into my Hip Kit Club kit, I believe, had some little pieces left over from various kits. I used this chipboard board that says Adventure, and I did a dipped effect using white embossing powder, so that's a great way to personalize your elements. Then of course I had this cute little computer die cut. I cut out the middle and I popped in a tiny photo of the marketing ad of myself and my fellow instructors, Vicki Booten, Megan Andrews, and Lael Konkar. And of course, they're fabulous women, fabulous creators. So it was really great to be able to teach alongside with them. And I wanted just to have that little memory tucked inside of my scrapbook album. Did a little layered embellishing down there. And I just love the way that this layout came together. I'm going to add some journaling later on, but overall, this layout's pretty much done. Next up, using some Vicki Booten Storyteller. I believe this is, no, maybe this is Color Study. Maybe it's Storyteller. I can't remember. It's one of Vicki Booten's collections. I wanted to do a little bit of mixed media. This layout was made for the Scrapbooking Cards Today blog. So the cool thing about Vicki Booten's products is that a lot of her pattern papers already have a mixed media design, so it makes it very easy to build upon that. So I took one of her stencils. So I took also some distress ink and some of her stamps from the collection to create this really fun background there at the focal point in the center and of course at the bottom. Added a whole bunch of her big chunky embellishments, which are fabulous. This is a photo of me in South Carolina at Bird's Famous Cookies, and I'm talking about how I just love to have new experiences when I travel. Even if someone's not interested in what I'm doing, I like to go off on my own and do my own thing. So that's what that layout was about. Moving on to a Christmas layout that I created, I want to say live here on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. This was the last live that I did. You could probably find it in the playlist. This is using some Hip Kit Club kit goodies. Again, bringing in that green because I just can't get enough of it. This is me documenting my love of the Grinch and all things holiday themed. So I have my Grinch shirt and my Grinch mug. I flanked those photos with a bunch of embellishments. Of course, used 2 different font stickers to bring out the title a little bit more. One of the things that I love about this particular kit, well, Hip Kit Club in general, is that they have some fabulous, fabulous die cuts and chipboard pieces. So I used a chipboard frame there to the bottom right. Absolutely gorgeous. Just add a little bit of texture and dimension. And look at that vintage television. I mean, just perfect. Added in a Christmas tree, some holiday florals, a little candle, and some little sparkly enamel dots. And this holiday layout just turned out fabulously. It's very, very festive for sure. Now for some bonus scrapbook layouts, because you know I just can't pick 10. This layout is a 4th of July theme layout. It features my daughter and her grandma, Pat. And this layout was made using a collection from Echo Park, and I can't remember the name of the collection. But of course, as you can see, it is very much 4th of July themed. This photo was taken years ago. My daughter is probably as tall as her grandma at this point. She's certainly as tall as I am. But I used a lot of the die cuts. I also fussy cut some florals out of pattern paper. This strip that says 4th of July was a part of a larger 12 by 12 piece of pattern paper. So I just cut a bit of that and used that as the title. And then added in some more little fun embellishments. There's a chipboard American flag banner. And it just really is gorgeous. Just indicative of the summer and of 4th of July. And this next layout was made from items from my Felicity Jane Mega Kit. I took a photo of my mother and I holding hands as I was helping her through a department store. She has mobility issues. And it just occurred to me that at one point she was holding my hand and helping me, and now we're at a stage where I'm helping her. So I made that photo super large. It's 6 by 12, so it can span that right side of the layout. Then I used some scraps from my Felicity Jane kits, fussy cut those flowers, and created a nice little layered focal point there at the top using a bunch of white space in the photo, and then again at the bottom. And then I used some really, really large letters as a part of the title so I can document this very special moment on that particular day. This moment was very symbolic for me, so I wanted to make sure that I scrapbooked it. This last layout is called Life in Focus, and this was made for the Scrapbooking Cards Today blog. Now, the purpose of this particular project was to highlight some of the companies that make adhesive products for scrapbookers, so companies like 3L and that type of thing. And so we were sent a whole bunch of adhesive products. For me, I was sent some of these really cool glue dots, or Zots, and I've been using Zots for years. And what I did is I created some little sparkly dots using Zots and glitter. This is a really great alternative if you don't have like enamel dots or maybe some Nuvo drops. You can take your Zots glue dots, or any glue dot really, put some glitter over it, burnish it in, and then you have some glitter dots on your project. Of course, I have a ton of layering. This is a Simple Stories collection. I forget the specific name, but it was all about kind of like everyday moments, working and that type of thing. And that's exactly what this layout is about. It's just kind of my life, my day in the life as an entrepreneur, and kind of what my day looks like when I'm working. All right, so those are my top 10 layouts plus a few more. If you have any questions about any of the projects, make sure you post it down below. And remember, you can head over to the Victoria Marie blog where you can see photos of all of these layouts. And I hope these projects inspire you to create a whole lot in 2022. That's certainly my focus. And of course, I'll be sharing all of that with you as always. If you're new here to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. When you do, click the bell. That way you'll be notified each and every time new content is posted. I'll see you guys in the next one.